Right, hello, welcome. So today I'm going to show you how to make a chessboard, make it from scratch. Going to use a veneer surface and then put a little oak hardwood, or put an oak surround around it, and then a bit of an inlay. Once we've done all the woodworking, we're going to finish it off with French polish and get a beautiful glossy shine on it. So, I mean, one of the main reasons for doing this is it's a very satisfying job, and as I say, you can really hone your skills on some accuracy and really sort of do things that you maybe never done before, i.e. a bit of veneering. Right. Oh, and by the way, if you like the video and you're really enjoying it, then hit like and subscribe. Right. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you'll get your bits of veneer. There'll be contrasting veneer. So I went for a maple and I went for a walnut. They're sort of quite traditional sort of veneer that you'd use for a chessboard. When you get it, it's not going to be flat. So what you need to do is you need to prepare it and get it absolutely flat. So when you actually start cutting it, then it's all going to fit together perfectly, and it will also make it a lot easier when you're gluing it up. So get the veneer, spray it with some water, spray. pretty straightforward. Pop it down onto something flat, put a bit of paper on it, and then spray the next sheet. Spray, and then pop that down, and just keep putting veneer, sheet of paper, veneer, sheet of paper, veneer, sheet of paper on top of each other until you've got what you're looking to use for the veneer. So as you can see, it's about 3 or 4 sheets or something like that I need for this. Then what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to make yourself a template, or you're gonna have to make yourself a jig. The jig will basically enable you to clamp all of these together and wait for them to dry out, and then when they come out they'll be flat. So as I say, I've used a bit of 1-inch ply and then just clamped around the edges, and then leave that for a day. Once that's dried, then you're ready to start cutting. So now our veneer is dry, we're going to start shaping it. What you need to do is you need to make 4 strips of one colour, 4 strips of another colour. I made 5 of each because you might need a few spares or whatever. And the way that I've done that is I will prepare one edge of the veneer with a planer, get it absolutely flat as you like and as sharp as you like. And then what you do, take those pieces out, and then you cut a strip, but cut a strip a little bit wider than you want, maybe like 2 or 3 mil wider, and then flip them around, put them back in the jig and plane them again, and then plane them so you've got 8 strips that are identical width. So the next step is we're going to glue the strips, or we're going to attach the strips together. So I've got some veneer tape, got this off the internet, and what you'll do is just pop the strips next to each other, alternate colours, put the self-adhesive tape on the face side, the side that you want to see, put them all together, and then you'll have, when you flick it over, you'll have a chessboard that looks like stripes. Right, so once you've got the strips, then what you want to do is, now this bit is probably the trickiest bit because there's no room for error. Get a scalpel and get a very straight edge, and then you need to cut and create your squares. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut on the exact line the width of your square, and if you do that 8 times, or you do it all the way across down the board, then you'll have these like little strips that are squares. Now what you have to do is just offset them one, and then re-tape and tape up. And what you've got then is you've got the board itself, the veneered board, and when you flick it over, you should see there should be absolutely no gaps on the face side. So it's looking absolutely perfect. So the next bit, you're going to take this sheet we've got, which is our face of our board. We're going to prepare a substrate to glue it onto. Now I used MDF, and the reason I used MDF is because it doesn't really swell or shrink or contract or anything like that. So once you've glued your veneer onto it, it'll stay solid, and that's perfect because you won't get any cracks or any movement in your thing. So I really would suggest an MDF board for that. And you're never going to see it because it's going to be covered by veneer, and it'll also be covered by the frame that we're going to put on in a minute. Right. So once you've got that, get your board, make the board slightly oversized, and then glue it on. I think use PVA. Could have used Cascamite. Cascamite's probably better because it goes off rock solid, but PVA is just as good if you use good quality PVA. So put the PVA down. Again, you're going to need a bit of a jig. So again, I've used this 1 inch ply, and then I put some paper top and bottom to stop it from sticking. Oh, yeah, put the paper on top to stop it from sticking, and then put another 1 inch ply on top. And again, we're going to clamp that down. And we want to keep it as tight as we can to stop it from moving and sort of moving around as it's drying. I put some quite thick members as well to get equal stress or equal pressure all the way through the whole board. What you're going to do, clamp that all up, as you can see, clamp, and then leave that for a day or so until it's absolutely gone off, completely solid. Now we're ready to trim the board, make a bit of a frame. So take the jig off, and you'll find you've got your MDF and if everything's worked out, then you'll have the board, and you'll just use a soft cloth or a damp cloth or something like that, just to take off the veneer tape. And what you'll find is when you take the veneer tape off, it should be absolutely perfect, no gaps. So now what you need to do is you need to trim around the edge and get it to the exact size that you want those squares to be. So you should be planing or doing whatever you've got to do. I think it's probably best to plane it, and just get it absolutely smack on. So it's really important, because otherwise if you make a bit of a mistake at this point, then it'll be quite difficult to hide the gap. So once you've done that and you fit that, then you want to make a frame with a rebate in it. So I've used a bit of oak that I had knocking around. I cut a strip to about 2 inches wide, and then I put a little rebate on top of it to let the board sit into it. And the thickness of the rebate should be the thickness of the MDF and the veneer. So it should be virtually a perfect sort of flush finish on the frame and the chessboard, obviously. So once you've done that, put your rebate in. Then I've cut the miters either side, and I've also put some splines in there. So the splines are in the miters to add additional strength and to stop them from breaking if there's any swelling or contraction. I think it's always if you want something to last a long time, then it's always good. It's always good to practice to put these splines in. Use your router, put it in a little jig, and just cut the splines in. Shouldn't take too long with the right size bit. Once you've done that, cut your splines, cut your board, cut your rebate, put it all together, glue it all up, glue absolutely everything all up together, and then clamp it up. And then in theory, what will happen is once you've clamped that up, it should be virtually right, apart from a bit of finishing off. So for this one, I put a little bit of an inlay in between the frame and the chessboard. I think it just finishes it off quite nice, and it's a nice little contrast, as you can see. The way I did this was I partially finished the frame off and the squares, got it so it was broadly flat, and then I got my router and I routed a groove all the way around in the middle of the joint of the glue of the frame and the squares. Once I've done that, got a little bit of I think it was a ply of plywood, and then I've just pushed that in and I've glued it in. I think I used super glue, but you can use PVA. I used super glue because it was quicker, and I just wanted to get it done. That means now you've got your board, your inlay and everything, and you're on the home straight. It's time to start finishing. Yeah, so last job, finishing. So if you've built board correctly and you've got the frame and the veneer just at the right level. There won't be that much finishing, so you just need to plane off the inlay and then start sanding with quite a, I would probably go P120, but you don't want to do too much. You've got to be really careful not to sand through the veneer, because that's its curtains. You've basically ruined it if you've done that. So just be careful. So start with 120. Don't go P80. I don't think you need that. So plane it down, get it all flush. But then 120. Sand it with 120. Then get that so you're happy with that finish. Then sand with 320. Get it so you're happy with that, and then sand it with 600. Get it so you're happy with that, and then once you've done that, that's broadly it. It's finished and it's ready for whatever sort of finish or what sort of surface finish that you want to put on. There's loads of different surface finishes that you can put on. I've used French polishing on this one because I thought it'd look nice, and as you can see, it's a beautiful finish. Some people think it's a bit glossy, but the good thing about French polishing is it's easy to repair. So if you don't want it glossy, then just rub it down with some quad zero wire wool, and it'll be like a matte finish, but it'll be beautiful. And if you ever get a mark or anything like that, you can quite easily repair it later on. So I do have another video for French polishing, which if you want to see that, have a look at that one. This really is it shows you how you can make a chessboard for not very much money, and you can make it, customize it to exactly as you want to. If you've enjoyed this video, you want to see more, then just hit like and subscribe. This board's going to last you a lifetime, and make all your friends go, ooh, this is wonderful. But there you go. I suppose that's probably not why you're doing it anyway. Right, thanks for watching. See you later.